Hey, it's afternoon here, so good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? So let's get into this topic, right? Okay, the title talks about one in three people, this one ingredient that is causing one in three people this chronic health challenge, and it included myself. I spoke about in my story how I had developed several chronic health issues, one of them being non alcoholic fatty liver disease. And it's not talked about much, even though one in three in the US has non alcoholic fatty liver disease. And what exactly is that? It's the buildup of excess fat in the liver. Um, it's said that it's caused by insulin resistance, high cholesterol, obesity, things of that nature. Oops, excuse me. Gotta fix something on here. I don't know what this is. Sorry. Okay. Let's just move on with that. Excuse me. So they say the causes are obesity, pre-diabetes, diabetes, high cholesterol. But is that the real cause? Because what is causing those chronic conditions, right? So again, like I said, when I went for my checkup, I was diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which prompted me to change my diet and my lifestyle, and I was able to reverse the diagnosis, and I no longer have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So when we think about fatty liver disease, it's often referred to people who are heavy drinkers or people who may have an addiction with alcohol. And you may have heard the term cirrhosis of the liver, and it's caused by that fatty liver. And so years ago, when you heard the word fatty liver, it was usually referred to alcohol consumption. So, however, in 1980, there was an upsurge of people being diagnosed with non alcoholic fatty liver disease. So they thought maybe it was that the consumption of alcohol had risen. But then they had to X that idea because they were finding that children were being diagnosed with non alcoholic fatty liver disease. And if they were not drinking alcohol, so it was something else, right? So what they found was the culprit was high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup. And prior in 1970, in 1970, there was zero consumption of high fructose corn syrup. And then after 1980 on, now people consume 60 pounds of high fructose corn syrup per person, whereas before it wasn't even consumed at all. So they found a correlation with high fructose corn syrup and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And the thing about it, now they say one in three people have it. So now it's similar to like pre-diabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure. Now non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is like the new normal. Almost everyone has it. Like all of us know people who are on high blood pressure meds or on diabetes meds and things like that. So non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is being clumped in as a new normal with these other types of chronic diseases. And when I had been diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, I remember I used to consume a lot I used to drink a lot of soda, particularly Pepsi. I used to like Pepsi. And when I did drink alcohol, I don't really drink alcohol now, maybe twice a year, maybe a special occasion. But when I did, my drink was rum and coke. That was my drink. Also, I was eating cakes, processed foods, and sometimes even in foods that are not sweet, you can find high fructose corn syrup. So I was eating a lot of that stuff, and I never correlated it with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even realize that I had never heard of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease until I was diagnosed. So it's like the new normal right now. And the thing about it, most of the time, it has no symptoms. You could be asymptomatic. So even when you go for your checkup or to the doctor, they may take your routine blood work and they may check your liver enzymes. Just because your liver enzymes may be a little high doesn't necessarily mean it's associated with that. So they don't always look into that. And because now it's the new normal, like 1 in 3 have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Even the best way to diagnose it is through, they say, a biopsy, but that's invasive. So you don't necessarily have to have that, but what the way they diagnose it, the way I was through ultrasound, a CAT scan, or even an MRI, right? So you would really need to have something like that to see if you have the fatty liver disease. And it's so common now that I read that radiologists, you may go in an emergency room for something else, or you may go to a doctor for something else, and then when they do your ultrasound or whatever, they see the fatty liver disease, but they don't even report it because it's like normal. Oh, everybody, so you see everybody has this. So it's like no big deal. They don't report it in the report unless it's severe. Then they see it's severe. So you could be walking around and you don't even know you have it because it's most of the time it's not symptomatic. So again, this non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is the buildup of fat in the liver. It's 1 in 3 people in the U.S. have it. Uh, it's the new normal, similar to diabetes, pre-diabetes, and all of that. And again, what causes uh, this buildup? The ingredient, one of the main ingredients, is high fructose corn syrup. Now, it can be genetic, but that's not, you know, the main culprit is the diet, what you're putting in your body. The high fructose corn syrup being one of the main ingredients. So what happens with that is our body uses sugar or glucose. That is the body's preferred source of energy because that's what gives us energy to do what we do every day, right? The glucose, right? And the liver absorbs 10% of that, and it processes that because the liver is used to clean away toxins, to clean out the body with things coming out of our body. It's a cleanser, right? So it processes about 10% of that sugar or glucose, and that's what it does. But with fructose, high fructose corn syrup, that is fructose, which is different from the glucose, right? So when we ingest that high fructose corn syrup, the liver absorbs 100% of it, and it tries to process all of that uh, fructose corn syrup because the body doesn't recognize it as a source of food. It doesn't recognize it for the body to utilize it. So what happens is if you drinking or eating that high fructose corn syrup every day, all day, your liver is being flooded with all this fructose, and it can't handle all of that. So what it does, it turns or converts to fat. And then that's how you get that buildup of fat in the liver. And you wind up getting non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. diabetes, right? And so this is the problem. And like I said, they said the causes are obesity, uh, high cholesterol, insulin resistant. But what causes those things? High fructose corn syrup, one of a big contributor to those things. Excess sugar, salt, oil, and sugar, and this high fructose corn syrup, which the body doesn't recognize. Okay, and also it creates. I think I talked about this before. How it creates this. That's when you word like you'll never get satisfied. It creates you. It creates a craving for it, and you're constantly consuming it, no matter how much you use of it. So this high fructose corn syrup is a real problem, not just for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, but a whole host of other diseases. And so, where do we find this stuff? Like I said, especially in sodas, soft drinks, sodas, processed foods, uh, frozen foods, and I get even savory, salty foods may have that as an ingredients. It's in seasonings, it's in medications, it's everywhere. This high fructose corn syrup. And when the body has too much of that, this is what it creates. It damages the liver. It causes inflammation in the liver and it causes liver disease. So, how do we stop it or reverse it or get rid of it? Well, just like when a person who maybe who overconsumes alcohol and then develops fatty liver disease, the way that they can stop it or reverse it is to abstain from alcohol, stop drinking alcohol. Okay, in the same way with the non alcoholic fatty liver disease, what do you do to get rid of it? You have to abstain from it. You have to stop eating, drinking, ingesting high fructose corn syrup. Okay, and like I said, it's in so many processed foods and it's hidden in there. Some people don't even realize it. And one of the reasons why a lot of people uh, are taking in so much of this high fructose corn syrup is because they don't know how to properly read food labels. Now, you may say, oh, I know how to read food labels. I always read food labels when I go into the store and I look at how much sugar's in it, how much salt is in it, fat, all that stuff. But there's more to label reading than that. There are things in the label that are hidden. There are things in the label designed to get you to buy and purchase that and consume a lot of unhealthy ingredients. So, what I would like to do, I would like to invite you to my master class on March 19th, 2025, 7 p.m. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I will be holding a master class to show you how to correctly read food labels, how to find those hidden ingredients, how to find out uh, what is exactly causing your chronic health conditions. What can you do to reduce your chances of developing non alcoholic fatty liver disease or other chronic illnesses just by being more informed and knowing how to correctly read food labels. So I invite you to join my free master class on how to correctly read food labels on packages. And again, that's going to be March 19th, 2025, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you'll join me. Just by knowing how to properly read food labels can change your life and can change your health. So I hope you'll join me. And as I said, I at one time had not alcoholic fatty liver disease, and I was diagnosed with that in 2008. And I got rid of it, and it hasn't returned. And again, you may not even know you have it. And the fact that 1 in 3 people in the US have it is something that we should be concerned about because it's not talked about often. And it can lead to serious health problems, even death. Okay, so I just want to share that with you. And you guys, what I always tell you gotta do, you gotta have an amazing day on purpose. Okay, take care, guys.